Welcome to the Fluency mini lecture. Before we start talking about fluency in particular, let's discuss some reading background. Decoding is the process of translating written language into verbal speech or inner speech. Comprehension is the process whereby the reader constructs meaning by interacting with the text. Both decoding and comprehension are always parts of reading and interact with each other. As students progress through the elementary grades, there is a changing emphasis in learning to read. Beginning reading focuses more on decoding and learning how to read, and as the student becomes a more mature reader, the emphasis changes to comprehension and reading to learn. In the beginning, students may read in a slow, halting fashion. This is understandable since students are still learning the code. However, if it persists, comprehension will suffer. Students will spend so much time decoding the words that they won't be able to understand what they read. Students need to become fluent as well as accurate readers. The elements involved in successful reading are fluency, sight words, and independent decoding. Fluency, the topic of this mini lecture, is basically the process of automatically, accurately, and rapidly recognizing words. Sight words are a stockpile of words that the reader can recognize instantly. Watch the sight word mini lecture for more information about sight words. Independent decoding is the skills and strategies a reader uses to figure out unknown words. What is fluency? Tompkins defines fluency as reading smoothly, quickly, and with expression. Gunning defines fluency as freedom from word identification problems that might hinder comprehension in silent reading or expression of ideas in oral reading. Alverman, Swafford, and Monero define fluency as the rate at which a child reads a passage and the accuracy and expression with which it is read. Although they all state it differently, they are all accurate. Fluency is generally equated with phrasing, smoothness, and expressiveness, as well as rate, accuracy, and automaticity. Based on a review of research dealing with fluency, the National Reading Panel concluded that fluency is a critical component of skilled reading and that fluency develops from practice in guided oral reading activities such as repeated readings. It is important to keep in mind, however, that the panel did not reach a consensus on whether fluency led to better comprehension or whether better comprehension ensures that students will read more fluently. Personally, I think fluency and comprehension go hand in hand. As one improves, so does the other. What are the components of fluency? Gunning states that there are two components of fluency, accuracy and automaticity. Tompkins states that there are three fluency components, automaticity, speed, and prosody. Tompkins includes accuracy with automaticity, whereas Gunning includes speed and prosody under automaticity and accuracy. For the purposes of this mini lecture, we will break these components apart into four areas: automaticity, speed, accuracy, and prosody. Automaticity is defined by Tompkins as the ability to identify words accurately and quickly when reading. Gunning defines automaticity as tasks that can be performed without attention or conscious effort. When a student has automaticity, he or she does not need to think about how to read the word, but rather what the meaning of the sentences and words are. Students acquire a large stock of words that they know immediately and read correctly because it is impossible to analyze every word read. High-frequency words are the most common words that readers use again and again. Researchers have identified 24 common words that kindergartners learn to read. They are shown here. These words are part of 100 high-frequency words, which account for more than half of the words people read and write. For a list of these high-frequency words, you can visit either the Dolch Words website or the Fry Words List website, listed at the bottom of the screen. These two websites list the high-frequency words by grade level. Teachers teach these high-frequency words using explicit instruction. Generally, teachers introduce 3 to 5 of these words each week as they connect with ongoing literacy activities. Two activities that can be used to help teach high-frequency words are word walls and chant and clap. Word identification strategies assist students with automaticity. These strategies are phonic analysis, decoding by analogy, syllabic analysis, and morphemic analysis. In phonetic analysis, students apply their knowledge of sound-symbol correspondences, phonics rules, and spelling patterns to write or read a word. In decoding by analogy, students use their knowledge of phonograms to deduce the pronunciation or spelling of an unfamiliar word. In syllabic analysis, students break a multisyllabic word into syllables and then apply their knowledge of phonics to decode the word syllable by syllable. In morphemic analysis, students use their knowledge of root words and affixes to read or write an unfamiliar word. Students must have an adequate reading speed or rate to have the cognitive resources available to focus on meaning. Fluent readers vary their reading speed depending on the selection, its topic, genre, and text complexity, and their purpose for reading. Reading along with a recorded version of a story is especially helpful for students whose reading speed is extremely slow and for students who are still learning English. Pictured here is a chart of target reading speeds and words read correctly per minute. The first column shows the grade level, the second column shows the target speeds according to Tompkins. The third column shows the target speeds for oral reading according to Gunning. The last column shows the target speeds for silent reading according to Gunning. Although Tompkins and Gunning's target speeds vary, they are very close to each other. Take a minute and choose your favorite grade level and see how many words per minute a student should be reading at for that grade level. Silent reading is faster and more efficient than oral reading. Beyond second grade, silent reading speed should exceed oral reading speed. There are factors that affect how fast a student reads. First, a student's background knowledge about the topic being read can affect the speed. If it is something the student knows a lot about, his or her reading will be faster. This is one reason why it is important to activate background knowledge before reading. Knowledge of the genre, text structure, and text layout will help a student read faster. A student who has read a lot of Nancy Drew mysteries will have an idea of what to expect in other books in the mystery genre. Students who read a lot of eyewitness books will know what to expect when selecting a new eyewitness book on a different topic, as most eyewitness books are structured the same. Finally, students who speak English fluently will read faster because they are already familiar with more words, are familiar with English sentence structure, and recognize metaphors and other literary devices. These fluent English speakers make sense of the Amelia Bedelia books faster and realize the phrase "dust the furniture" means to remove the dust that is on the furniture, not to take the dusting powder from the upstairs bathroom and add dust to the furniture. Teachers need to provide daily practice opportunities to develop students' reading speed and stamina. You should offer a combination of teacher-guided as well as independent reading practice. Here are some activities that will assist students to become more fluent readers: choral reading, readers' theater, listening centers, and partner reading. Readers' theater will be discussed again later in this mini-lecture. Accuracy is being able to pronounce or sound out a word and also knowing the word's meaning. Accuracy and speed of reading have to be balanced. An overemphasis on accuracy will lead to a decrease in reading speed. Do not insist on 100% accuracy. If you do, students will get the wrong idea about reading. They will begin to see it as an oral performance activity in which they are expected to pronounce each word correctly. This could carry over into student silent reading and so hinder comprehension. When students read orally, their purpose should be to convey the meaning of the passage rather than to render accurate pronunciation of each word. When students are asked to read orally, they should have a chance to read silently first and should be asked to read in such a way as to convey what the author meant. Students will then have to think about and emphasize the meaning of what they read. Unrehearsed oral reading in which students take turns reading can be painful for struggling readers who are embarrassed by their mistakes, and good readers who are bored by slow, choppy reading. Prosody is the ability to orally read sentences expressively with appropriate phrasing and intonation. The components are expression, phrasing, volume, smoothness, and pacing. Punctuation is important to this component. Punctuation directs you how to read. The importance of punctuation in meaning of a sentence can be demonstrated by the following joke. A panda walks into a cafe. He orders a sandwich, eats it, then draws a gun and fires 2 shots in the air. "Why?" asks the confused waiter as the panda makes towards the exit. The panda produces a badly punctuated wildlife manual and tosses it over his shoulder. "I'm a panda," he says at the door. "Look it up." The waiter turns to the relevant entry and sure enough finds an explanation. Panda, large black and white bear-like mammal, native to China, eats, shoots, and leaves. The degree to which this definition becomes muddled simply as a result of one incorrect comma is remarkable. Here is a quick review of automaticity, speed, and prosody. Pause to review the chart. You may ask, what are the characteristics of fluent readers? Fluent readers are read to, at home by parents and at school by the teacher or other adults. Fluent readers receive encouragement to read with expression. They read more often and more material that is easier for them. They have opportunities to read silently. They have an interactive view of reading. There are many activities that build fluency. Choral reading involves 2 or more people but can take on many forms such as unison reading, refrain reading, antiphonal reading where groups alternate, etc. As you read orally, you are modeling the process of smooth, expressive reading. You are not wasting time by reading to your class for 5 minutes after recess, even in the upper grades. Popular technique for fostering fluency is repeated readings. The steps in repeated readings is to introduce the selection, select a passage that will be reread. Then obtain initial timing to obtain a baseline reading and accuracy rate. Go over any miscues from the initial timing and then practice rereading the selection. Finally, evaluate the reading by recording the number of word recognition errors and reading speed. The goal is to have the students in grades 3 and above to read 80 to 100 words per minute. Errors in word recognition will decrease. However, do not insist on perfect word recognition. Another activity are reading along with recorded books. You can purchase these or make them yourself. In alternate reading, the student and an adult or tutor takes turn reading the selection. This can be every other page, every other paragraph, or in difficult text, the adult reads most of it while the child comes in on familiar refrain or easier sections. Series books are especially effective for developing fluency. Because they have the same characters and often the same setting, series books are easier to read. If the student likes the first book in the series, chances are they will be motivated to read the rest of the series. Try it out. Check out the Read and Listen feature for Scholastic News. First go to the Scholastic website www.scholastic.com. Click on the sitemap, click on Product Information, then Classroom Magazine, and last Scholastic News. Choose grade level 1 or 2 and then go to the Listen and Read icon. Listen, read, view, and learn. Reader's Theater is a multi-purpose strategy. It provides a purpose for repeated readings, to prepare for a performance. It also provides a reason for students to attend to their oral interpretation of a text. Adding stress, appropriate intonation and volume, and so forth are important to communicating the message of the Reader's Theater. Writing your own script also provides a context for learning about the different structures of stories and scripts. Reader's Theater can be embellished with costumes, props, etc., but all that is needed is a script, readers, practice, and an audience. In the classroom, teachers can assess fluency by using rubrics, running records, and informal reading inventories. There are also a number of standardized fluency measures. Some, but not all, of them include Ames Web, Dibbles, Fluency Formula Kits, Powell's System, and Reading Fluency Benchmark Assessor.